Moving on to someone who's super ambitious, wants to start their own VC firm. Someone who's at an early stage in their own career, say maybe a 20-year-old aspiring general partner. That's someone who has a very high position in a venture capital firm. What would you define as the first actionable steps towards formulating that fund?
That's a very ambitious question, Nevan. I must say that. But I know actually one or two young
Mhm.
venture capital founders. In my professional experience, I had a chance to meet with them, and I was intrigued by the journey they had. But what I understood is that for someone that early in career, you need two things. You asked for one, but I'll give you two. Is one is access to your own capital, which can be through a trust fund, family fund, friends or family who've given you money to manage, and they believe in your ability
Mm,
to invest wisely.
yeah.
That is the first step, and then you can seek more investors. These are limited partners in your fund because you are a general partner. You can get funds from other entities, but a starting point is to have your own money in the pool. And the second component is what kind of network you will have. What do I mean by that is that is one thing you have money or access to money.
Mm,
How are you going to get the deal flow? How would you get like the next big thing knocking on your door, or how are you going to find it? So there are these two very big components that are extremely crucial for you to kind of start your firm. I mean, you can start your firm with the fund, but then what is the next logical step you're going to do? You need to have, I would say, both in parallel. Bring your fund together, raise capital, your own or somebody else's with it, pooled in, and then at the same time, trying to figure out how to build a deal pipeline or a flow of deals
yeah.
by networking. So when you have both, then at some point merging, you'll be able to be an active VC fund.
And I also like the point that you made, that if you're a young venture capitalist, like, and you're just starting your own firm, why will a seed stage company or a younger company, why will they look to you for funding? Because you may not have the experience or the necessary advice that they require, as compared to someone who's done it for maybe like 20 to 30 years, who's seen companies like theirs grow, come into the industry, so they would probably prefer someone, I think, who's more experienced. But anyways, I just wanted to
That's
ask,
right.
let's say you have this experience, you have this knowledge. How does an emerging venture capitalist position their fund story and market themselves effectively to prospective LPs or investors? And to follow on that, can they do this if they don't have an initial access to capital? Can their first move towards acquiring capital be approaching these LPs or investors?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So can you repeat the first part of the question again,
Hmm.
Nevan?
So it was like, how can like fund managers or general partners, how can they market their fund story and market themselves
Hmm.
to prospective investors?
Yeah, I think one of the key piece in marketing yourself or your fund is going
Hmm.
to be a thematic component. You are a fund which is focused on sustainability in a region, or
Hmm.
you are a fund which is focused on women founders,
Hmm.
or make it so specific
Yeah.
where it is really a niche, and
Hmm.
you are the fund to go to when any or all investors are looking to get exposure to that segment.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is one way to create your own space or place in the VC, I would say in the VC arena where
Hmm.
you are hyper focused on that and use it as your branding tool to grow. Um, I have seen. where in situations, to give you an example, where there are these firms which are very much focused on solving longevity with a particular solution. Then there are these firms which are only hyper focused not on financial returns as much as they are focused on social impact.
Yeah.
So I think having to build that theme and use that continuously, consistently over time, that is a good strategy for an
Uh,
early stage VC founder.
yeah. Before we move on to the next part of the question, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to add, or I wanted to ask, I guess you could say, that let's say there's a new venture capital firm and they prioritize sustainability, as you said, like their full focus is on sustainable firms. And let's say
Mm-hmm.
the general partners, there may be two or three, they are like, they've studied like energy related economics in college, they've mastered in that, or they've done their undergrad in that. And wouldn't that be like a great combination to have? Like specializing in the field and then having like a vast expanse of knowledge in that field as well. Like, wouldn't that be like just a great combination for someone who's trying to start a venture firm?
Yes, it will be. I think it brings in a lot of story and narrative in terms of why you're trying to do what you're trying to do, and with your formal education or knowledge in the space is incredibly helpful. So yes, the short answer is yes. That will be very attractive, I would imagine, for someone who is trying to
Yeah.
invest in that space.
Hmm. Yeah. So moving on to the next part of the question. If someone doesn't have this capital, they don't have access to initial capital from family members or their own capital, how
Mm-hmm.
can they really like go to LPs, or can they really ask investors to give them capital, or is it something that's really unfeasible?
Yeah, I can barely imagine. I'm a very optimistic person, so I wouldn't say that's not absolutely not possible. Anything can happen if you are persistent, but it seems very unlikely
Yeah.
with no experience or and no capital of your own. You can raise capital from LPs. It's a big question for them. Why would I invest in your fund? The only differentiator, if or the only reason I can think one would consider doing or funding or being an LP in your fund
Yeah.
is you've demonstrated a deal flow that here are 10, 15, 20 companies you have worked with who are interested to get funding from your
Yeah.
fund, and that those could appeal to the LPs
Yeah.
and they take that leap of faith and fund you. So that is possible, but yes, I wouldn't say that's like a normal road to raising fund.
What I was trying to ask is that let's say I want to be a GP or general partner at a top firm. Is it better for me to progress through promotions in my existing firm? Or is it better to just go out on a limb, start my own venture capital firm and become a GP over there? Like what is the preferred path to becoming a GP at a top venture capital firm?
Hmm. What is a preferred path? How do you define preferred? What do you mean by preferred?
I guess you could say something that would be easier to achieve, or the possibility of achieving that path is higher than the other.
Um, Yeah, I don't know if I may not do a good job saying what's preferred, like which is the preferred way here. Um, Generally speaking, I think if you are both are very feasible ways. So you enter into a well-established one of the top VC firms in the world and make your way up through the chain and make to the partner level is also very doable. I think the couple of considerations is such firms generally are again very tight knit. So you need to have a certain pedigree of
Mm.
academic accomplishments, experiences to be first joining the firm. And then you have to keep in mind that you are competing with the top talent
Mm.
in when that firm has hired. So you will have to demonstrate that you're at least comparable, if not better than the other players, I mean, other colleagues. So that's considerations there. But on the flip side, if you there are other ways to become general partner too. One is to your to the point that you made is you make your fund or join someone at a slight or at a less established firm and build that experience, build network, build deal flow, show one or two really good deal that has an exit or portfolio, a strong portfolio to these one of these established firms, and you can get to a partner at that level by showing that success in a less established firm. The third way is an entrepreneurship way. So you can be an entrepreneur, you can be an operator, a CEO, founder.
Mhm.
You will live the life of an entrepreneur by doing all the things that you have to do to grow your business. And if you are successful, and success can mean multiple things here, you can take business all the way to exit, or you've grown the business, you've raised hundreds of millions in capital. Now, again, if you wish to change and become an investor, so shift from an operator, become an investor, that's other way. Because when you are an operator, you made deep connections with VC network who funded you. If
Mhm.
they like you, if you like them, there is a fit. They like the way you think about the and again you have a deep knowledge in the space because you are
Yeah.
growing a company in that space. All the reasons for you to join the VC firm and could be a partner there.